In Oakland, California, one homeowner narrowly escapes an invasion and would never have known what happened had the incident not been caught on his security camera. As he was listening to music on his headphones, he remained completely oblivious to a man in a hoodie ringing his doorbell twice at 2 a.m. Unknown to the homeowner, this doorbell ringer served one purpose: to see whether or not the house proved empty. A quarter of an hour later, the man in the hoodie returned. He had a friend with him this time, and they didn't wait around for someone to answer the door. Instead, the sweatshirt-wearing would-be burglar attempted to kick in the door. The sound of his boot colliding with the door created an audible and feelable jolt that the homeowner finally registered. In response to the percussive noise, the homeowner let out a loud yell, fortunately spooking the wannabe home invaders and scaring the two assailants away. A Ring doorbell camera captured a frightening incident that rattled Los Angeles neighborhoods. It started with a blood-curdling scream that sent one worried resident out to investigate. Her doorbell camera captured a woman frantically crying out for help. It appears the screams were coming from a white car driving down the street, and a man's voice could also be heard in the video saying what sounded like, "I'm sorry." A neighbor told Inside Edition that she saw the struggle happening just 2 doors down. A Los Angeles doorbell camera captured the gut-wrenching screams of the woman, and police say they believe she may have been kidnapped, but it did not capture images of what caused her to call for help. Witnesses in the Leimert Park neighborhood of Los Angeles called to report hearing the woman as well, according to LAPD News. The woman's voice can be heard screaming, "Help me!" from a dark street and from a porch. Then the car races in and out of frame. Witnesses saw what police say may be a 4-door white Toyota Prius with plastic wrap over the front passenger side window, and it sped off with 2 people inside. The driver, described as male, was pulling the hair back of a woman with dark braided hair in the passenger seat as she screamed. Police are trying to track down a man who spent 3 hours licking a doorbell at a California home. When you think you'd seen it all, this definitely takes the cake, as surveillance cameras caught a man that police identified as Roberto Daniel Arroyo in the act. The clear footage shows the man leaning his head against the intercom outside their front door and licking the doorbell from several different angles. He carries on licking for 3 hours. The homeowners said they weren't in at the time, but their children were inside sleeping. Police said the newly installed surveillance system helped them investigate the case, and that they were pleasantly surprised the image was so clear. It didn't take them long to identify the individual, Miguel Cabrera from the Salina Police Department said. The security camera also caught Arroyo moving an extension cord to the front yard and relieving himself. You kind of laugh about it afterwards because technically he didn't do any harm or break anything, homeowner Sylvia Dungan said. Police said Arroyo could face a misdemeanor charge of petty theft and prowling. As for the Dungans, they said they came home and made sure to clean off their doorbell. A man has been left fearing for his safety and loved ones after his car was torched in a late-night attack. Kyle Wilson's white Mazda 6 estate was set alight in a deliberate firebomb attack on Caddo's Gardens in Scotland. A neighbour's doorbell camera managed to capture the shocking moment the car became engulfed in flames. The video shows a man crouched low to the ground moving between nearby parked cars. He appears to be holding a petrol can while heading towards Kyle's car. Seconds after he approached it, the motor bursts into flames and the man flees the scene on foot. The father of Kyle's girlfriend was walking his dog with a friend at the time, and they can be seen sprinting towards the vehicle as they call for help. But the incident has left them terrified for his safety and those of his loved ones. If someone was willing to go out and do that kind of damage, what were they willing to do in person? It's a harrowing realization. Police are currently investigating. A dad caught a prowler armed with a hammer and crowbar lurking outside his home on CCTV. The hooded figure was filmed on the occupant's Ring doorbell camera as he frighteningly looked through the windows and tried to break in. David Welsh of Glasgow was fast asleep upstairs at the time of the incident in the early hours of Wednesday. The 64-year-old was made aware of the man by his son, who received the notification on his phone through the app and alerted his unsuspecting father. In the disturbing footage, the man fails to gain entry and then turns and heads back down the driveway. David said he feared what would have happened if the man had gotten inside his home and gets chills thinking about someone lurking inside his house or that of his neighbors. Thankfully, nothing seems to have been taken, but just the thought of someone lurking around and outside your home makes me feel uneasy. A Boca Raton man was caught on camera prowling around his neighbor's front door armed with a semi-automatic rifle. The man has been arrested, but the homeowner who watched helplessly as his family hid in fear, Tom DeErico, captured this frightening house call on his doorbell security camera. Tom was in California on business, but watched the situation unfold on screen while his wife and children hid inside. The man, staggering around the front door, is armed with a semi-automatic rifle and wearing a ballistic vest. The odd behavior, time of day, it was after 11 p.m., and the sight of a weapon was good reason for not to answer the door. Instead, Tom hid his loved ones and dialed 911. According to him, not being home and being unable to do anything felt like he was in the movie Taken. Deputies from the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office arrived sometime later, but Tom says 20 minutes is not acceptable when a guy with a gun is on your property and women and children are cowering in a corner. According to the arrest report, the teen who called 911 told investigators Flaherty has threatened his family before. The teen believes that Flaherty came to his house to kill them because they let Flaherty's daughter, who was scared of her father, stay with them. And that's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and see you again soon on Mr. Nox.